The way that I am so excited for this video, I'm sure you guys could tell by today's title and thumbnail and the fact that we're zoomed in. We have a full face of all new drugstore makeup, or at least new drugstore makeup to me. So you guys want to see what my thoughts are on all of these products. Are they actually worth it? Well, then grab a snack, grab a drink, let's go ahead and dive right on in. Okay, so for brows, I just went ahead and I went in with the Morphe Nano Brow Pencil right here. You guys know how much I love this. And I also prepped my lip with the Jean-Luc Cosmetics Lovable Lip Balm right here. But I'm so excited because you guys know how much I love drugstore makeup. I think drugstore makeup is so good, and I do think it's up there with high-end makeup. I do not think you need a full face of luxury makeup to feel beautiful. I think you can absolutely feel beautiful wearing drugstore makeup as well. Although I will say, drugstore makeup, it's not as cheap as it once was. Like for everything sitting in front of me right here, I spent like over $100 and something. I'm like, dang, like it's getting pricey, and I don't know why. Like, why are y'all getting so expensive? And I went to Walmart where it's a little bit cheaper than Ulta, and some of these prices are still quite up there. I'm just like, why is drugstore getting so expensive? It shouldn't. It's drugstore for a reason. But I really do love my drugstore makeup. So before we dive into foundations, I actually have two foundations that I want to try out, but they're obviously very different consistency. So the first one I have is actually going to be from Revolution. This is called the Superfix 16-Hour Blur Long Wear Blurring Foundation. Now, according to what I saw on the little stand, this is supposed to be perfect for those like me who have really oily skin and want to help to control the oil. That's what this is supposed to be right here. This is supposed to be an oil controlling long wear foundation. Now, you guys know I'm always on the hunt to find the next holy grail foundation for my really oily skin. So I picked this up, but then I also picked up the new L'Oreal Skin Tint Balm right here because I know this one really isn't for me, but I picked it up because of the fact that there are days where I want to have like a makeup, no makeup look. You guys know I really do love my 5-minute makeup routine. I've been showing you guys here on YouTube where I do like just a beautiful like skin tint from Merit, and I absolutely love that skin tint. But when L'Oreal came out with their own, I was like, dang, I kind of want to try this. So obviously I can't wear both today because they're two completely different consistencies, two completely different formulas, and they both have a different usage. So I think for today, I'll go in with this one right here, but I'm gonna save this for like a chatty get ready with me. I just want to open it so I can see what it looks like. Picking out my shade was very difficult. I didn't know if I was shade 2.5 light or 3. It was very difficult to tell. And when I went online to do like the shade match, I kept saying 2.5. So I really hope I got the right shade. So this is how it looks. Mine did come with like some sort of scratch on it, and this was taped. So I don't know, but I just want to swipe it just so I can see the look. Okay, yeah, this would have been a perfect, this is a pretty much gonna be a perfect match ring. But as you guys can see, look how lightweight this is. This is for those who don't like a full coverage foundation. This is for those who love a good lightweight to medium coverage foundation. This is where this balm is gonna come into play for you. And like I said, then I also picked up the Revolution Superfix Longwear Foundation. Now this is gonna be a 2-in-1 applicator. So I have the shade FN3 right here, so I can pump it or I can twist it. And it's also like a little applicator right here. So this is how this one's going to look. As you guys can see, two very different consistencies. So I'm gonna probably go in with this one today because I'm gonna do a full face of new makeup, and I don't know how well some of the makeup is going to work on top of this balm right here. But just know I do have this. We're gonna be testing it out. We're gonna see how well this works on my really oily skin. So stay tuned. That's gonna be coming later this week. But we're gonna go in with this one right here first. Now I don't have a new primer to test out, so I'm just gonna go into the NYX. This is gonna be the face glue right here because I really want to make sure I'm using what I have in my collection, because you guys know I just did a little mini declutter series, and for me, I need to use more of what I have. Like I truly need to use more of what I have. I don't want to be the person that just buys and never uses her own collection. I generally want to go through like what I have. So I'm just gonna go in with this and let this sit down. We're gonna try this out. Okay, so next we're gonna go into the Revolution Superfix 16-Hour Blur Longwear Foundation. So this says this is a skin perfecting soft matte foundation designed to keep up with real life. Superfix Blurs delivers a breathable longwear coverage with a smoothing soft focus finish that helps to blur the look of pores without feeling flat or heavy. So we're gonna see how well this does because you guys look at that. Look at those pores, okay? Those pores are in our faces. So we're gonna go in with this. I'm gonna, instead of doing like the pump, I'm actually gonna do the applicator. I kind of like the idea of it being like a little applicator. I have the shade, like I said, I have the shade F3N, and I'm just gonna do this. because I kind of like the fact that it's like a little applicator, right? Maybe I won't use nearly as much, but I think it's supposed to be almost like a full coverage. And then if I need more, I'll definitely like get more. But anywho, I hope you guys had a wonderful holiday weekend. What did you guys do? I am crazy. I went to Disney for 4th of July. Who would have thought that I work at Disney and I went to Disney during 4th of July? And you know, I went to Epcot years ago, like back in like I think it was like 2018, 2019, before I had Kaya. We and Corey went to Epcot because as much as like you think that it's gonna be crazy busy, you'd be surprised at how dead Disney is. This is kind of a really light shade. I might have gotten the wrong shade. Shit, what shade is this? No way. F3N. I got fair to light skin tone with a cool.
Did I really get that shade? I got the wrong shade.
6.5. That's fair to light skin tones with a neutral undertone. That's what I grabbed. I grabbed that row, and I guess I didn't actually pay attention that it wasn't actually like there. Oh no. Oh my God. I was too busy because the Ulta Beauty people just kept circling around me going, do you need anything? Are you okay? And I heard them saying, please keep an eye over in this section. And I'm like, I am not trying to fucking steal. Okay. I am trying to look to see what would be my perfect shade match. And so I thought I grabbed the right one because it was like labeled like accordingly. And I guess I wasn't paying attention and I grabbed the fair to light with a pink cool undertone. Oh my God. I'm going to look like a ghost. Why does this always happen to me? That is my fault. I'm gonna take full accountability. This is my fault. Wow. Okay, we're gonna ignore the shade match. We're gonna just see how this wears. I thought I was grabbing the right shade, but like I said, it was like lined up. You know how they have like the shades like down the thing and you just like grab it? I thought I grabbed the right one and I clearly did not. So I'm gonna see if maybe I can exchange it or something, because like, whoa. A couple years ago I went to Epcot to see the fireworks during the 4th of July show, and this year my best friend and her kids, they wanted to go to Disney, so we ended up going to Hollywood Studios because we knew that Hollywood Studios would not be jam-packed, because any place that doesn't offer fireworks during 4th of July, it's gonna be dead. Like Animal Kingdom was dead, Hollywood Studios is dead. I mean, like you can literally walk on Rise of Resistance. It was a 25-minute wait. You walked right on. There was absolutely zero wait and that ride. So we had a great time. It was so unbelievably hot. Like it was a scorcher out there. And then we ended up making our way over to Epcot, but I knew going to Epcot that me and Corey were never going to be able to stay for the fireworks show because we have our dogs and Koa just does not do well. It does not do well with like thunderstorms. It doesn't do well with like fireworks. So we knew we had to be home by a certain time. And let me tell you guys, when we got to Epcot, it was so dark outside. Like the sky was turning black because of the thunderstorms that were rolling in. So I was only there for about an hour before we ended up before we had to dip out. But let me tell you, besties, Epcot rolled out with all their fall decorations. Epcot was rolling out with all their fall merchandise. Like literally their fall merchandise. And Corey's like, seriously, they have their fall merchandise out right now? And I was like, first off, we're not judging. Okay, we're not judging that the fall merchandise is out. And secondly, you should already know how this works. Like, you should already know how this works. He goes, you're going to buy those Disney sweaters, aren't you? And I was like, yes, I am. It's fall. I have to. So I was so excited to see that their fall stuff was rolling out. So when I put my fall stuff up August 1st, I'm like, Disney has theirs up. I'm going to ignore how light this is because this is incredibly light. Unfortunately for me, I truly did not pay attention when I purchased it. I thought I grabbed the right shade. I mean, it even looks like it's deeper in the bottle than it is on the face. Maybe it's going to oxidize down. I don't entirely know. So we're going to overlook the fact that I look very pale and very ghostly. Hi, sisters! That's the vibe I'm getting right now. So we're going to ignore that. We're going to look at the actual consistency of the foundation. I could definitely still see my pores. My pores are still really visible. Like, they did not minimize like I said it would. But I will say it's a really nice, like, I wouldn't say it's fully full coverage. It definitely is more of like a medium coverage, but you can definitely build it up. It's laying down really nicely. I don't see it settling in defined lines or pores. We're going to see how well this wears throughout the day. I just am really, really mad at myself for the way that it, like, how pale it is. So I'm going to see if I can go exchange this because I cannot believe I grabbed the wrong shade. Maybe we can tone it down because for bronzer, I do have the new ColourPop liquid bronzer. I know I'm late to the game on this one. But, you know, I was moving in life and I just couldn't keep up with all the new makeup launches, but I finally got my hands on this. I heard great things about this bronzer. I did pick out the shade Sunset Beach, which is the second shade out of all the shades they offered. So, we're gonna see kind of like what it does to this makeup. Hopefully it kind of, you know, brings it down a little bit. I don't entirely know, but we're just gonna kind of go for it, besties, because you know what? Life doesn't always go our way, and sometimes we have to make the most out of it. You know what I mean? So let's go ahead and blend this out. Ooh. Okay. She's bringing life back to the face, but I would say that this color is a pretty decent color for me when I have the right foundation shade on. But given the fact that I do not, it definitely looks a lot deeper than what it truly is. And it's a lot more glowy and more liquidy than I expected. Like, it's looking kind of messy, but this is where I'm gonna go in with a sponge and I'm really going to clean it up. But it is definitely a little bit deeper than I would intended for this foundation. I need to put this on. I can't stand how my baby hairs always get in the way whenever I'm filming. They're just like always there getting the makeup. Okay, so something I want to point out right now is my nose. Do you guys see my nose? Do you guys see how that foundation is starting to lift off my nose for some reason? I don't really know why. It's not really wanting to stick on my nose. I don't know if that's a good sign or not. I don't think that's the best sign to see right now so early into the application, but hopefully it's just a little blip and it's not something that's going to actually like lift throughout the day. But yeah, I could already tell my nose is not already liking that foundation. It's not wanting to hang on. Maybe I can just add a little bit more, see if that helps a little bit. It's not looking the best. It's not looking the best. I am a little kind of deterred by that. I thought it would be looking a lot better, but the bronzer, like, I don't know, it didn't absorb into the skin as much as I thought that it would. It kind of got really like muddy right here and it kind of spread, even though I was blending out like right here on this side did not, right? This side it pretty held on, but this side, I don't know really what happened right there, but it is adding some life and color back to the face, which I'm grateful for. But I don't know if it's my fault, my application, the way I did it, but it's just not looking the best right now. So for like a cream blush, we're gonna go into the new Hard Candy. This is going to be their cream and powder duo right here. So you have a cream blush and a powder blush. This is gonna be in the mid-tone pink. I saw people talking about this. I saw it at Walmart, and I really enjoyed some Hard Candy products. There's some Hard Candy products I thought been great. Some Hard Candy products I thought are not. So it's just kind of like a hit and miss. But I really wanted to try this today. So we're gonna go into this. And I'm going to go into this cream blush. It says it's mid-tone pink. This is like one of the lighter ones they had. So let's try this out. Let's see how this looks. Okay, she definitely has some color to her. It looks deeper in the pan than what it actually is in the face. On the face, it's actually really pretty. It's a little bit softer than what I expected. Definitely, it's not bad. It's definitely not bad. It's not the most like wowing. It's not the most pigmented, but it is really pretty. I feel like it's one of those blushes you can definitely like layer on to really build up, which is really appreciated. So for concealer, I'm finally gonna be trying the new NYX Wonder Snatch Concealer. I have the shade 11 Neutral Beige. I'm pretty positive, if I was a betting woman, that this is gonna be a little bit deeper than my foundation, because like I said, I got the wrong foundation. So let's try this out. I'm not the biggest concealer fan. You guys know that concealer and brows are like my least favorite product, but I see everybody talk about this online, so I was like, okay, I need to try this to see what the hype is about this concealer. Although I will say I really do love the Essence Silky Blur Concealer. That's a really fantastic drugstore concealer. I really like that one. All right, let's try this. As I said, ooh, it's definitely deeper. But let's see the consistency of it. Now, I don't know if it's because of the foundation, but the concealer looks a bit more on the yellow tone versus like a neutral tone. That's just kind of the vibe I'm getting right now. And it's also like settling into the fine lines under my eyes. Do you guys see that? Like I feel like it's kind of accentuating the fine lines a little bit. I'm gonna look down to try to blend out the product, but I don't necessarily want to say it is because of the foundation. It could also just be because I do have fine lines and I do have bags and wrinkles under my eyes that like products are starting to seep in there. So it could be more on my end and my problem, but I do want to point that out, that it is kind of like I feel like it's kind of accentuating it just a little bit, but it could also just be me. I'm gonna set my under eye with the Hard Candy Blur Unlock setting powder right here. You guys know how much I love this setting powder for a under eye powder. It's just so pretty. It is so, so pretty. I kind of prefer it more than the L'Oreal Blurfaction one. I just really, 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 really like this setting powder right here. Okay, so then to set the entire face, I don't have a new setting powder, so I'm just gonna go into the L'Oreal Blurfaction setting powder right here, just because I know this is a tried and true for me. So I'm gonna go ahead and go in with this. We're just gonna quickly set my face with this. Okay, now that this is on, I feel like the foundation might have oxidized down just a little bit because this is my neck, and normally I blend foundation down to my neck, and this time I didn't do that. Do you guys see? I did not do that. So I don't know if maybe it does oxidize down enough, or maybe just the products are kind of, you know, toning it, or the products are kind of adding more life and color back to the face, making it look a little bit better. I don't know, but I do like that I did not have to blend that down. It's kind of looking more like my skin tone. So interesting. Okay. Now, for the eyes, I actually am going to go into the Morphe. This is going to be the underslated eyeshadow palette here. This was gifted to me in PR. I did not buy this one myself. And I'm going to just do a beautiful, easy, like neutral eye look, something that I would wear to work. So I think I'm just going to take a little bit of like these two shades right here, and I'm just going to mix them and kind of put them on the lid because I'm going to go in with a ColourPop eyeshadow stick. The ColourPop eyeshadow sticks were sent to me in PR, but I took forever and a day to actually do anything with them. So I'm far behind, but I really want to try them out. I've been seeing them on TikTok, and I was like, you know what? I need to try these, especially because I used to really, 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 really love the Dose of Color eyeshadow sticks. You guys used to always ask whatever those eyeshadow sticks were that I was wearing my eyes, and I'd always tell you it's a Dose of Color, but they have been out of stock for so long that ColourPop, they were out of stock for a long time. They finally did bring them back, but now ColourPop has their own. That's kind of like, why even bother when you could go for ColourPop that's going to be cheaper? Do you know what I mean? Like I said, I'm just mixing those two shades, and I'm just putting it into my crease. I really found myself kind of liking their formula, surprisingly enough, because like when they originally came out with their like formula like a year ago or so, like it was like some forbidden fruit launch. I was like, wow, this formula sucks ass. And I very much said that in my review, and I was like, oh, for sure they're never going to see anything again, because I was pretty harsh on the formula. And they actually still did, and I was surprised. And I've been truly honest with how I feel about their products. Some products work great and some are not my favorite. Like their finishing light powders, I'm not a fan of in the slightest. And like their setting powders, I'm not a fan of. Their setting sprays, I like, but they're not my favorite, especially because I have really oily skin, so they're really not geared towards me. But then like their eyeshadow palettes work nicely. Their lips are wonderful. So it just kind of depends on like what the product is. But I definitely think Morphe is truly in their comeback era for sure. A little bit of this shade right here, just a tiny, tiny, tiny bit. I'm just going to pack that right here on the outside. Okay, so now that is on, we're going to go into the ColourPop like Jelly Munch eyeshadow sticks. So I have two shades right here that I'm not sure if I want, which one I want to play with. So I have the shade right here called Big Energy. And this is how Big Energy is going to look. It's going to be like more like a nude with like an icy silver topping. I feel like it'd be really pretty for this, right? I feel like it'd be really pretty. Or I can go into the shade called Diamond Girl. It's like this like white one right here. And this is more like an icy white blue. I feel like I'm gonna go into this one right here. I feel like that'd be actually a little bit more better suited for this look. So we're gonna go into the shade called Big Energy. And we're just gonna start to place this right here. Oh, that is so pretty. It's really wet, like really wet feeling, but look how pretty that is. Wow, that laid down really nicely. And it seems to dry down rather quickly too. That is so pretty. Like that is such a gorgeous, like gorgeous topper. Like, do you guys see that? It's so high shine, it's so reflective, and it dries down so quickly too. So like, it doesn't budge. Like, look, it is not budging, not coming off. So I think this is gonna be great for those who may have like really oily lids and have a difficult time keeping eyeshadow staying on their lids. I think you might actually really end up liking this. It doesn't think it's gonna flake or anything like that, but I am gonna do a wear test to see how it wears. But that is absolutely beautiful, truly beautiful. So let me just throw on some mascara. I think for mascara today, I'm just gonna mix my two favorite combo, which is the Tower 28 and the L'Oreal Extensionist Mascara. Next product I'm gonna try out is actually gonna be the new Hard Candy Glass Unlock Setting Spray. This is a glass skin finishing spray right here. Now this is supposed to be an exact dupe to the One Size, which I don't even think I have anymore. Oh yeah, I do. This is supposed to be exact dupe to the One Size powder melt right here. This is how much I have left of the powder melt, mind you. That is how much I have left, and this is supposed to be an exact dupe to that, if not better. I've been seeing everybody rave about it like crazy, and it's been selling out. Like, it's been selling out like crazy. So I'm so glad I was able to find it at Walmart. There's only one left, and I snagged it so fast. The reason why I love this powder melt so much is because it does a really great job of helping to melt the powders and bringing everything back to life without making these super, super dry. This adds the hydration back in, which really does help to contain the oil. Someone said, like, look at it like, a road, right? And after it just rained, and then you see the road, and after, like, think about like a pavement, right? It just rained and the sun is coming out, you see it kind of glistening. That's kind of what they described this as, and this is supposed to be a dupe. So we're gonna try this out, see if I can melt my powders back together. So we're just gonna let that sit here for just a minute. So while it's doing that, I also picked up the brand new Essence. This is the Radiant Light Face Palette right here. Everybody online said this is like a dupe to the Hourglass products. Everybody said this is like a dupe to the Hourglass palettes. And you guys know I just started trying Hourglass this year, so I definitely was excited to see this. I think it was only like $5.99. So this could be like a good dupe, y'all. Y'all, that would be absolutely wild. So we're going to try this out. I am going to go into the bronzer shade right here. There was only two palettes. There's the light and there's like the deeper one. So I did pick up the light one right here. So we're going to try this one out. We're going to see how I like this powder, or like this bronzer face palette right here. Ooh, she's deeper than I expected, and she's really radiant. Ooh. Wow, that is super radiant. Okay. I don't know what I expected, but I don't think I expected it to be like that radiant, if that makes any sense. Okay, so then for blush, I'm gonna see what this one looks like at first. This looks like it's more like a highlighter than a blush. So there's this one from Hard Candy, but then they also have two right here in the face palette. So let's try what this one looks like. Okay. Interesting. These two are going to be from the Essence, and this is from the Hard Candy. So let's try these. I'll try the Hard Candy one first. Very lightly go in right here. It already has a radiant glow to it, as you guys can tell. And then I think I'm going to take a little bit of this powder as well. I'm just going to dip into both. And ooh. Oh, wow, okay. We will definitely tone that down with some setting powder. We'll definitely tone that down with my finishing powder for sure. And my eye is like watering right here, and I don't even know why. Just to make sure I give this a fair chance, I am going to spray my face with the Essence. This is going to be the Fix and Last 18-hour long-lasting makeup fixing spray. This is a waterproof this is a waterproof setting spray that's supposed to be free from oil and alcohol. So we're going to go ahead and set my face with this before we go in with the highlighter. That smells really good. Okay, so as that's drying down, I'm gonna go back in this palette one more time, and we're gonna go into the highlighter right here. Let's see how this highlighter looks. See if it's like intense or not. Ooh, that's pretty. Oh, wow. That is a glow. Oh, do you guys see that? Whoa, that is glowy. Wow, that definitely has a pop to it. Holy crap, that is very, very glowy. That is, wow, that's really pretty. It almost looks kind of wet too. I am gonna quickly just do my finishing powder. I'm gonna quickly just set my face with my finishing powder. This is the Givenchy. This is the only like non-drugstore I'm gonna use today. I'm just gonna quickly set my face with this though. I'm gonna spray then I'm gonna go into my L'Oreal setting spray right here. Okay, so for lips, I did buy 3 new lip products. So I bought 2 of the L'Oreal Plump Ambition Hydrating Lip Oil right here. I bought 2 different shades because they are sparkly. And then I also bought a Morphe lip gloss right here. So I'm just going to swatch these in my hand to see which one I want to use more. Because I really don't know for this look. I might go for like a bronzy one, but I just want to see. So this is the Morphe Drip Glass in the shade called Pink Mirror. This looked really pretty. So let me go ahead and swatch this right here. So that's how that looks. Really pretty, right? But then I also saw these ones. So this is going to be the L'Oreal Plump Ambition Hyaluronic Lip Oil. This is going to be in the shade called Peach Lights right here. Do you guys see how sparkly that is? How pretty that is? That looks so pretty. So that's going to be the Peach Lights. It smells like a peppermint watermelon scent. And then the last one I got was the shade called Mauve Lights as well. Like, look at how pretty that looks. Ooh, which one do I want to go for? I think we'll go into Mauve one right here. So I'm going to use the Morphe lip liner in the shade called Makeup Talk. This is my favorite one from them. We're going to go ahead and line my lips with this. Then I'm going to take the L'Oreal. This would be the, I'm going to take the Mauve Lights right here. And let's see how this looks. Oh yeah, that is really pretty. I wonder if I could take just a little bit of the peach one too, just a tiny bit to mix. Let's see what this looks like. It's turning into like a really pretty like caramel shade. That's really pretty. Okay, there you have it. This is going to be the final look right here. Let me go ahead and zoom you guys out and I'll give you guys my first impressions on this before we start our wear test. Alrighty guys, so this is the final look right here. I do think everything turned out rather beautifully. And I'm actually a little surprised by the final results given how pale that foundation was. So we're just gonna quickly do a quick run through before we start our wear test. So first we have the Revolution Superfix 16-Hour Blur Foundation. I really do like that it's a 2-in-1 applicator, so I could pump it or I could twist it off and apply it to the face. I really do like doing that. I really do like that applicator. I will say the coverage, the color at first, I was like, I think I might have gotten the wrong shade. But now that it's like been sitting here for a while, I don't know if it oxidized down. I don't know if it's because of the products I put on top, but it doesn't look nearly as pale as it once did, which I'm actually really, really grateful for. Is it my perfect match? I mean, like, it's kind of hard to tell my beauty lights, but I feel like it's actually not that bad. I feel like it's really not that bad. So maybe I don't have to go return this after all. Maybe I don't have to go and exchange it after all. Maybe I can just keep it for what it is. I will say this is supposed to make a full coverage. I did have some difficulty on my nose. It didn't really want to stay down. My pores are still really visible. So the question is going to be, is this going to hold up? That's gonna be the question. But first impressions, it's not bad, but I could already tell you guys this is not gonna be holy grail. I could just already tell. Next, I do have the NYX Wonder Snatch concealer. I feel like my under eyes are really emphasized right now. Like, if you guys see all my fine lines, they're really emphasized. Whether it's the concealer, it's the powder, I don't really know. I did tell you guys I am struggling with that lately, where a lot of the products are sitting right here, and I don't know if it's just because of like life and stress that I just have a more prominent under eye right now. I don't really know, so I've been kind of avoiding it, but I did want to try this out. The shade is a bit too deep for the foundation, but I was able to work. I did notice it pulled a little bit yellow, but is it the most wowing one? Not really. I don't really have too much thoughts other than like I probably would not repurchase it based upon first impressions, but we're going to keep testing it out to see how I feel at the end of the month. Then we do have the ColourPop bronzer right here. Now this is very liquidy. I thought this would absorb more into the skin, and so far I thought that this would absorb more into the skin. It didn't seem like it did. It does blend out nicely, but it did look a little bit messy. So we're gonna keep testing this out, but first impressions, it's okay, but not the most wowing thing that people made it seem like it was. Maybe I'm just more of like a cream bronzer, and like maybe I'm just more of like a cream bronzer person now compared to a liquid bronzer, so maybe I'm kind of thrown off by that because all my bronzers are cream bronzers and or powder bronzers. I don't ever use liquid anymore, so maybe I was just thrown off. Maybe I used too much, but we're gonna have to keep testing this out. The Hard Candy, this was actually really pretty. This looks like it's gonna be deeper than what it is, but actually blended out really nicely. This is for those who don't like a really heavy-handed for blush, because it does come off really light in pigment, but you can build it up, which is really nice. I think it's really pretty. I do like it has like a radiant blush to go with it, so it's more like a blush lighter, which is kind of nice. But we're gonna keep playing with this. So far, I do really like this, but is it so far I do like this. It's not the most wowing, but I do like this for sure. Then we have the Essence Radiant Radiant Light Face Palette. Oh my gosh, this thing is pigmented. This thing is pigmented. Now, as you guys can tell, I did put on the bronzer, but it did kind of tone down the second I put on my finishing powder and I blended it out. It did tone itself down. Same thing with the blush. It was really intense at first, but then I was able to tone it down with my finishing powder. The only thing I did not tone down was that highlight. Do you guys see how intense that highlight is? Like, that highlight is glowy. It is a very, very, very glowy highlight. And for a drugstore highlighter, that's fantastic. I love a good glowy highlight. I really do. Because when the light hits it, it just looks so radiant and so beautiful. And I just feel like it just looks absolutely gorgeous on the face. I love how radiant and glowy this is. Like, it is definitely popping on the face. Now, how does it compare to Hourglass? I never really tried the Hourglass highlighter, so I really can't compare. But for the blush and bronzer, I'm definitely not disappointed. Like, I thought it was going to be really intense, but it blended out really nicely. So far, I'm actually really liking this, which is really fun for me to say because normally I don't like a lot of Essence products. Do you like this? Then we do have the Morphe palettes. Now, you guys already know that I really do enjoy the Morphe palettes. I just really want to try it out more for like the eye base underneath it. These are really pigmented. They blend out really easily. I have nothing bad to say about them. I really do enjoy them, and they've really stepped up their game over the last year, and I've been really impressed with them. But the one that really kind of took me by surprise is the ColourPop Jelly Mud Shadow Sticks. These are gorgeous. Like, look at how vibrant that is. Like, the fact that this just goes on, it dries down really quickly and it doesn't budge. Like, that is really nice. So like I said, for those who do have really oily lids and have a difficult time keeping the shadow on, I think you might actually really like this one. It comes in so many different shades. The one that I'm wearing today is this shade called Big Energy, and this is beautiful. This is something I can find myself wearing every day. Like, every single day I can find myself wearing this. This is going to be absolutely beautiful. I do have so many other colors. If you guys want to see these other colors, let me know in the comments below because I can do like a little short for you guys. And then next we do have the lip products. So the only one I really tried, I didn't try this, I was swatching it, is the Revlon, is the L'Oreal Plump Ambition Hyaluronic Lip Oil right here. I will say the shine on this is gorgeous. Like, the shine on this is beautiful. It does have a little bit of like a glitter reflect to it, which I do appreciate. You could definitely feel it on the lips. It's not overwhelming. It feels as if I put a little bit of peppermint on the lips. That's all like the sensation I have. And like in terms of heat, it just feels like I have a little bit of a peppermint oil on my lips, and I can definitely smell that peppermint oil, but it doesn't burn the way that I thought that it would, because a lot of like lip plumpers do burn my lips like crazy. And surprisingly, this does not. And this looks really beautiful. It is a lip oil, so I am kind of curious to see what type of longevity this is going to have, because typically when it comes to lip oils, anytime I eat or drink something, the lip product does tend to dissipate. It tends to take the lip liner and the lipstick with it. So I'm really curious to see how this is going to wear. But first impressions, this is really pretty. And then finally, I had the two setting sprays. So we have the Hard Candy Glass Unlock setting spray. This is supposed to be, like I said, a dupe to the One Size. We're going to keep testing this out. It laid down really nicely, super fine mist. So I'm really curious to see how this is going to wear throughout the month. It did help to like melt the powders or bring everything back to life. It does add a little bit of a glow to the skin. So maybe that's where this highlighter is popping more. But we're going to keep testing this out. I feel like this is going to be great for those who have really dry skin and I don't always want to have like a heavy setting powder. Setting spray, you might actually like this one. But for me, when I just want to do a powder melt before I go in the rest of my mattifying products, I think I might like this. I think I might end up liking this. And then we do have the Essence Fix and Last 18-hour long wear makeup fixing spray. We're going to keep testing this out. First impressions, it smells good, but is it going to do anything? Time will tell. So those are all my first impressions on these products. I will do about a 10 to 12 hour wear test on these to see what I really think about them. But overall, I'm still gonna be testing these out all month long. So whatever I end up saying in 12 hours might not be the final say of how I feel. We're gonna keep testing them out on different products to see what really works. But so far, we definitely have a lot of hits on our hands, and I'm really happy to say that. So with that said, let's go ahead and jump into the 12-hour wear test. Hi guys, so it's currently 3 o'clock. So I've had this makeup on now for about 5 hours, and this is where we're looking at, like what we're looking at. So as you guys can see, I'm definitely starting to get glowy. I'm definitely starting to get glowy. Eyeshadow still staying on the lips. Do you guys see that? Like, it's still kind of shiny, even though I had like pasta. I had pasta for lunch. It's still kind of shiny. I'm actually quite impressed, but as you guys can see, I am getting a little oily. So we're 5 hours in. This is how we're looking. It hasn't oxidized down anymore, so that's actually pretty good, but I'm definitely getting shiny. So is this going to be a new holy grail for me? Probably not, based upon the 5 hour mark, that this is where it's starting to look right here, where I am starting to get oily, especially in that T-zone. Yeah, I doubt this is going to become a holy grail, but we're 5 hours in. I just want to show you guys what it looks like in natural light. This is kind of a glimpse of my house right now. I know I have not shown you guys the tour yet, but I will show you guys the tour. I'm just trying to get the best lighting, and this is where it's coming in right now. But yeah, this is where we're at, and I'm starting to get oily. I want to have high hopes, but yeah. Okay, so it's definitely been 12 hours, and this is how we are looking. As you guys can, as you guys can see, I am oily. I'm definitely really oily. The lip liner surprisingly kind of held on, which I'm kind of surprised about because like I thought the oil would definitely dissipate it, but it did not. The eyeshadow is staying on beautifully. The blush, I feel like the blush has faded. For sure, the blush has faded. I feel like that highlighter is still kind of present, but the oil is definitely shining through. So I think it's safe to say that this foundation is definitely not a definitely not a like oily friend. I think it's safe to say this foundation doesn't necessarily work fully for oily skin. Like I think it works up to a point, but longevity wise, like 16-hour wear, yeah, no, it can't even last 12 hours at least, like not on me, because you guys can clearly see that I'm very oily. But I will say I'm not like, the makeup's not separated. It has not really like lifted fully. I mean, looking on the nose, it's kind of gone a little bit on the nose, but other than that, it's still kind of holding on for the most part. I mean, it does look like pure shit around the mouth area, but other than that, it hasn't really fully separated. But yeah, this is how it's looking after 12 hours. Really, really oily. And it's also like sticky. Like I feel really sticky. This would be a perfect time to try this out. The One Size like oil control spray. Let's try this out because I'm gonna wash my face anyway. But yeah, I will say I do still like a lot of the products that I tried out. I think the only thing that when it comes to this foundation, I think it's great to film with, but like I said, this isn't gonna be something I'm gonna wear to work because I need to not get oily like this. And if I'm getting oily like this, it just tells me it's not gonna necessarily work. So look at my baby ready. He's ready for our little nighttime activities and stuff. But let me spray my face. Baby. Let me just see if that works on her face. Yeah. Now how come I see everybody else tried this and that like all their oil like dissipates and then I tried it and I'm still oily? Like what? I don't understand. Did I not do it right? I don't understand. Look at my face. I'm still, he's ready for me to go do like just go lay on the couch with him and stuff like that. He's ready for his cuddle time. That's why he's making like little grunting noises. But why am I still oily? This has just been a fail. This has just been a fail. So at least we know that a lot of products that I did try, they do work really nicely, but they just don't last very long. So we're gonna keep trying these products out. First impressions, I still like majority of the stuff, but as for this being like an oily friendly, oily proof foundation routine or makeup routine, no. If you have oily skin, you might want to think twice on trying out that foundation. So with that said, let's go ahead and wrap up this video. Alrighty guys, so that is it for today's video. If you guys enjoyed today's video, please make sure you guys give this video a cheeky thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you guys have not already. So I do post 3 to 4 videos every single week. Make sure you guys head to my other channels, Are for Life. You guys get to see my cool, wonderful adventures, my amazing husband, Corey. And as always, the biggest thank you goes to these beautiful, wonderful page members you guys see right here. Thank you guys so much for everything. And to my subscribers and viewers, thank you guys so much for being here. Whether you guys like this video, you guys thumbs down this video, you guys subscribed, you guys did not subscribe. Either way, thank you guys so much for being here. I love and appreciate each and every single one of you. So with that said, besties, I love you, and I'll see you guys in the very next video.